Napoli destroyed Torino 4-0. Osimhen gets 2. Kvaratskhelia another one. And even my boy Tanguy Ndombele scores his first goal in Serie A. The lead is 19 points, God. Come on.
Yeah, I would have thought that this would be like sort of a natural letdown. You got the Champions League.
Yeah,
at some point,
you
take
still
a
have to,
breather.
yeah.
No,
They're
the guys just
machine.
keep going. They're a machine. Osimhen, when he jumps out of the stadium. Kvara, like, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. So it's
too easy
interesting.
for them.
So the lead is 19 points. And so they could potentially have a curious situation where, depending how things go, they could win the title before April 19th. And then on April 19th, when Juve's case is heard, because the lead is only 15 points over Juve.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so the 4 point swing.
If Juve gets a point back, then they could have to go and try to win the title again, depending on what comes out.
At least you get two parties, because they're going to win the title, whether it's with Juve's points or not.
They're going to have many more than one party.
Yeah,
It's going to be a nightly party in Naples.
A Filip Kostic goal gives Juventus a 1-0 win over Inter. But Gab, Simone Inzaghi is furious with VAR.
Yeah, he's furious with VAR because Kostic, on Kostic's winner, there was a sequence of play in which the ball may or may not, I think in one case it certainly did, touch a Juve arm. Twice Vlahovic, once Rabiot.
Yeah.
Now, there's two things to say to this, right? First of all, worry about your crappy performance, horrible performance from Inter, horrible defending on the goal.
Yeah.
And it's
Denzel Dumfries on the goals. I mean,
where
come
he's
on.
standing, I don't know.
What is the common sense?
This is not the time to talk about VAR. Secondly, and I do have sympathy with VAR here, right? They took 4 minutes. They have to look at 3 separate incidents and offside. Now, TV pictures, frankly, are clear as mud. I think there probably was one on Vlahovic.
The one where his arm is close to his body.
Where the arm is right close to his body. Then you have to judge, does he get an advantage or whatever. But it was also a long sequence of play in which Inter were rubbish.
Yeah.
This is something where rather than making it an issue out of VAR and respect and whatever else, which, by the way, is not Simone Inzaghi. It's not how he normally rolls. No. Just talk about, we had a bad game. We apologize to our fans. We think the goal should have been struck off, but whatever. Let's come back and do better next time. That's all you had to say, Simone.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic becomes the oldest goal scorer in the history of Serie A. 41 in 165 days. Who did he beat, by the way?
Billy Costa Curta.
Yes, nice. Also on a pen. But it's a bitter day for Milan, Gab, who lose to Udinese 3-1. Fourth place is hanging out of the thread.
Yeah, they got a 1 point lead, and obviously they'll be pushed even further down if you ever get the points back.
Yeah.
He had to retake the penalty, but it's not really about Zlatan. It's about how terrible Milan were in this
really
game.
bad.
They were bad before against Salernitana as well. There's this myth that the problem was at the back and they were leaking too many goals, and then he fixed it by moving to the back three. No, the problem is at the other end. I have it in my column. I think their rolling XG over the last 10 games, when the streak started at the start of January, was 1.88. Now it's 1.02. Whereas their goals conceded in terms of XG have remained roughly the same, around 0.98 or 0.88, 0.89 or something, which isn't bad.
No.
But the real problem is
you don't create enough and score
they're
enough.
not creating enough.
Yeah.
And when you're creating chances, you're keeping the ball further away from your goal. And by the way, that back three, and everybody loved Malik Shao was terrible. Tomori was really, really poor as well. They don't get the coverage from the midfield. This back three was not a cure.
Terrible.
They need to go back, find their intensity, and do better. They need to do it quickly before they if they want to be in the Champions League next year. Otherwise, they'll just have to win it.
Yeah. Mattia Zaccagni, scores the only goal, and Roger Ibanez gets himself sent off after half an hour as Lazio beat Roma to do the derby double and move into second place. Gab, this was a typical derby, right down to the 2 red cards, a final whistle, and a fight in the dressing room.
That's right. The 2 red cards at the final whistle for Brian Cristante and Maricic. Of course, you need to have a melee at the end to show the fans
always
how much you care. Stupid because they're heading for suspension. Roger Ibanez, even dumber, 2 yellow cards within half an hour. I think Mourinho, who was suspended for this game, I think his head would have exploded at that point. Roma showed me very, very little, even at 11v11.
You're right.
Afterwards, he takes Dybala off, which basically means you're kind of giving up on set pieces. Leaves Belotti, who started ahead of Tammy. And then at the end, what happens? Claudio Lotito meets Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
And Mourinho says to Lotito, Claudio Lotito, the Lazio president, controversial Lazio president, says, hey, what are you looking at? And to which Lotito responds, I'm looking at you. Who are you? Why are you here? I'm the president of Lazio. You're not even supposed to be here because Mourinho's suspended.
Yeah.
And then there's another brawl in the tunnel.
Of course.
This is all very unedifying, Jules.
Yeah.
And I think very unnecessary. And like Mourinho was already suspended for this game, fairly, unfairly, whatever. But you can't bring everything down to a street brawl every game.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.